Okay, so, have you ever played a game but got stuck to a part where you had no idea what you were asked to do, so you went on Google or YouTube, or even magazines for all of us unks here, to see what you need to do? Well, I'm here to answer the question, what if you just don't? What if you force yourself to use everything that the game has to offer in order to beat it? Can't figure out how to use a certain item? Well, have you tried looking through the game manual? Not sure where the character you are looking for is? Go ask around, someone might know. For some games, this might be easier than others. Yeah, I'm looking at you AutoQuest Complete MMOs. But I'm not here to talk about these, because for this episode I will be attempting to beat Oblivion Remastered. So join me in exploring what areas of the game are done well, what areas of the game might be a bit confusing, and what aspects of the game might have gotten people to Google their way out of the situation. This could turn very chaotic, and you know why? I have never played Oblivion before. In fact, I don't think I finished any Bethesda game, so this would be a first. Also, I could have played the original one, but the remastered one exists. And it looks really pretty, so that's all the reasons I need to choose this one. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments if I made the wrong choice. But let's not focus on that right now. Let's focus on what I created. I created the class I hate the most in games like these. I created a thief that will become an archer. Why do I hate it? Well, I think in a lot of games that give you different playable styles, archers can be a bit basic. I cannot compare an archer to, say, a warlock that summons minions, for example. Anyway, we'll be going through this in a chronological order, as I'll be laying out what thoughts I had at the time of playing it. And after spending 1 hour and a half in character creation, seriously, I don't think I've ever spent so much in a character creation, I have good news and bad news. The good news is that I completed the character creation. The bad news is that I don't think I'm allowed in America anymore. Unlike the famous Skyrim, the beginning of this game is not famous. And there's a good reason for it. It's not too glamorous, there's no massive thing happening, technically. For reasons unknown, you are a convict, and for even unknowner reasons, you wake up with the Emperor in the jail cell with you. The city is being attacked, so the Emperor is being escorted by his personal guards. Lucky for you, your cell has a secret passage that leads to the sewers where you can escape the city. Surely fate has a play in this, as even the Emperor claims they may have seen you in their dreams before. Really, Emperor? Look at my face. I'm the one from your dreams, am I? Of course, this just sets up the tutorial as we start with nothing and slowly progress to picking up clothes, weapons, learning to equip said items and how the game works. Only a fool would get stuck at the tutorial, right? Well, what I didn't tell you guys is that I'm a Cuphead reviewer. Well, okay, I'm exaggerating here. I didn't really get stuck, just confused. And it wasn't even something I would need Google for. It was literally written in plain text. I am talking, of course, about lockpicking. Realizing I'd probably have to use it a lot, I did not skip the introduction to it. But even with that, I was still left confused as to how the lockpicking works in this game. It's very different from what I have been used to in other games. This is not something major though, it's mostly just getting used to it. Anyway, we progress to the sewers and I tell the Emperor that I'm a thief, and as a reply, he handed me the most important item in his possession to deliver it to someone as he will die soon. Sure, Emperor. Let me keep that safe for you. So after watching the Emperor die, I was sent on a quest with this amulet. To find the Emperor's trusted guard that knows about the secret heir to the throne and get them to be the next Emperor. In this world, it's apparently very important for the bloodline to exist, as this amulet is used to perform some sort of ritual to protect the world, but it can only be done by this bloodline? So off we go in the vast world of Cyrodiil. This game doesn't really throw you out there without any clues as to what to do. You do have a main quest you can follow, but chances are you won't really concentrate on that. At least I didn't at first. The main quest was just a side quest I'd go to if I stumble upon it. And so as I was exploring this vast world, the first question I had about how the game works was when I found this Stonehenge. I went close to it and it just told me that I can activate it. This stone stirs in your hand. Do you seek its conjured weapons and armor? I don't know, game, do I? My first thought was that conjuring a weapon is a one-time thing where these stones craft you a weapon, but I thought there was no point in doing this yet if I'm only level 1. So not wanting to waste this, I put a marker on it, thinking I will return to it later. Spoiler alert, I never returned for it, so maybe I should have just done it. I think I just leveled up my hindsight skill by saying this. My hindsight is now 20/20. Back then though, I was tasked with an important quest. Firstly, Joffrey asked me to give him the amulet for him to keep. Take it. It's worthless to me anyway. No, really, I tried selling it and no one would buy it. But the real quest? To find the Emperor's lost son and bring him to this captain of the royal guard so they can make him an emperor before it's too late. I'm walking as fast as I can, okay, Joffrey? It's not my fault you said I can take anything from your chest. I wasn't going to miss out on anything. So as I was walking to the nearest shop to sell all items Joffrey gave me, like a fan asking for an autograph from an artist only to sell them on eBay one day later, I started understanding all the memes from this game. Somehow the NPCs in this game are both impressive and absolutely ridiculous in the most fun way possible.
You may speak.
Hard to complain about living in Coral. We've got everything you need.
Absolutely.
Take care. Hello.
Sometimes I would catch them talking about things I have done around or events from the story, but other times they seem to give each other answers to questions that were never asked. Or sometimes questions were asked but never answered, it went both ways. Anyway, I went to the shop only to find out that I cannot sell the things I had, because the shop was not open. What do you mean you don't have the shop open? It's just 11 PM. And so I quickly discovered the game mechanic that allows you to pass the time. This mechanic... Oh boy, this mechanic I had to use so many times later on, but you'll see what I mean in a bit. For now though, I became the most favorite customer for anyone having worked in retail as I waited for the store to open in front of the door. With the backpack emptied and 250 gold richer, I headed to the city where the son of the emperor was cosplaying as a monk. The only issue was that I wasn't quite sure I'd find anyone left alive in there. As I approached the castle gate, I saw this massive gate to... wait for it... Oblivion. I had a moment where I considered if I should even go in, and I thought, maybe a bit later. So I went to the Emperor's new groove and asked him to join me at the capital, but I was not only rejected, but also asked to go to hell? Man, what did I do to deserve this? Anyway, so I go to hell with this Oblivion gate, much earlier than I would have thought I'd go in, and discover what I can only describe as an Amazon warehouse. I didn't really get stuck in here though, as it was quite straightforward what I had to do. Go to the middle of the main tower at the top and steal this sigil. Stealing it was easy, but knowing what I had to do with it? Well, that's not something I would find out for a while. That's not to say I did not get stuck on something. And I don't think I found something that is similar to this for the rest of the game, but as I left this castle to deliver the Emperor, I strayed from the path a bit and tried to jump over some obstacles to continue forward, but there was an invisible wall. To make things even worse, the Emperor got stuck in between some rubble and the invisible wall and couldn't move forward or come back. After trying to get him out for a few minutes, I went back to the castle to think what I should do, and he just teleported with me, so the problem was solved. But this guy, he was really slow. I kept thinking to myself, how am I going to deliver him all the way back if he's going to be this slow and constantly get stuck? I wasn't going to spend hours walking with him. Instead, I saw an opportunity as a guard was fighting someone, so they went off their horse. New plan. Steal the horse and run away with it in hopes the Emperor will jump on the Wait, I'm stuck in the dialogue. I was planning to run away, now the only options are go to jail, pay a fine or ignore him and get attacked. I guess I'll pay the fine and... Where am I? Anvil? Where in the world is... Oh my god, it's at the end of the map. Innocent little me thought, fine, if I can't steal a horse, I'll just buy one. I have 250 gold now. Oh, poor innocent past me. A horse is at least 4,000 gold. You'd better start walking if you want to get the Emperor back alive. But for you, my Emperor, I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more. Or at least I would have until the moment he betrayed me. Because as I was walking ahead watching the front side to make sure he wouldn't get hurt, he decided not only to watch my back, but also stab it. Well, to be completely honest, he stabbed my front, not my back. I was 30 steps away from delivering him to the royal guard when a guy came running at me. So I panicked and I attacked him. And you'd think that would be what caused all this, but no, the Emperor was fine with that. But behind me there were two of these clearly bad guys attacking me, so I started taking care of them whilst both the Emperor and the guard were just watching me. And only after I was done with that, they decided to both attack me. Can you stop attacking me, my guy? I'm trying to help you here. You know what my plan was? My plan was to go to the city and ask the guards for help. It was a perfect plan, as they would see an innocent person getting chased down by two lunatics. You right there, help me, I'm being attacked.
Well now, what do we have here? Caught in the act and no gold to pay your fine. I'm confiscating your stolen goods.
Hold on, why are you arresting me? What are you talking about? I have a bounty?
Then pay with...
Pay with blood? What do you mean pay with blood? I'm here to help you guys. If I'm gonna be chased down, I might as well be chased down for a reason. I'm taking this horse and running away. And so I ran off into the night, and somehow along the line, the Emperor teleported there and became friendly again. You know what, Martin? I'm not gonna question what happened. Let's just forget about the past. Let's head over to... Why are you attacking me again? It's the horse, isn't it? You don't like me riding stolen horses. Fine. Lessons learned. So I make him forget again, take him to the royal guard, who lets me know that unfortunately the amulet that I just gave him got stolen. Excuse me? I just gave you that a few hours ago. How is that even possible? New plan. Go with Joffrey and Martin all the way up north to what I remember was a monk fortress, I think? Now that I learned that you don't actually have to wait for them to come behind you, I can just have a nice stroll through this gorgeous forest.
Break the law on my watch, will you?
Oh yeah, I guess I forgot I'm still a wanted criminal. No way I'd give myself in again and get teleported all the way to the other end of the map. And so I kept running, kept climbing, not looking back. I'll go up north where I can change my name and start a new life. So I reached this farm and I think at this point I was thinking to myself, I just want to find one trader to sell my stuff in order to finally pay my bounty, which, if I remember correctly, every time I would run from the guards it kept increasing. So I find this lady and try to talk to her to check if she's a trader, but out of nowhere a guard teleports there and tries to arrest me. You know what? I've had it with you guys. I'm going to the one place I know for a fact has a trader. I'm going to the city. Let the chaos begin. Hey you, let me sell you some things. Wait, why can't I sell any more things to her? Home invasion. Wait, why is she fighting them? Actually, I'm not complaining. Fight for me. Can I talk to you in the meantime? I can! Still, couldn't sell enough items to pay my bounty. And now, he's fighting the guard while the guard is shooting me.
I'm just warming up, you pathetic worm.
Yeah, you get him. Now the shop lady came in with the archer and then just left? Wait, but if I wasn't the one that killed him, this must mean... Aha, yeah, they don't count as stolen items. Mr. Shopkeeper, I have some amazing new items for you. Oh, he attacked Joffrey, so now Joffrey attacks him? No, Joffrey, please, I need him to sell stuff. Okay then, it's time to run.
Then pay with your blood.
Why is he chasing her now? Your sacrifice will not be forgotten, but it's time to run for now. And I thought that would be the end of it, you know? I could just collect a bit more money and pay my bounty. So I went in a cave to do just that. It all went well until the Emperor remembered again that he hates me. So you know what I did? I dragged them to hell with me. Well, I was hoping they wouldn't follow me there actually. Now that I think about it, I'm curious what would have happened to the story if they would have just died here. But they didn't, so I had to keep running until they forgot. Now here's where something really interesting happened. This thing unlocked what might have been the most interesting aspect of the game. And it starts with one thing. I don't know why I went to sleep and got awoken by a Dark Brotherhood guy. Keep that in mind. What am I doing? Yeah, so the sleep got interrupted by this Lucian guy who claimed he wanted to recruit me to their Brotherhood because the Dark Mother saw I am a cold-blooded killer. Now, I'll be honest, at this point I had no idea what any of this meant, but I thought it sounded fun, so I accepted his invite, but there was a catch. I had to murder someone with a knife he gave me. On my way to do that though, I got a bit distracted because I was missing something. Of course I got distracted. Even before starting the game, I knew this would happen. If there is one thing I heard about this game is how easily distracted you will get from playing it, and honestly, yeah, I did know it, but I did not truly understand it. Because, oh boy, let me tell you, at this point, I got distracted from the main quest by wanting to do this Brotherhood quest, but wait, before I do that, I had a bigger issue. I was running out of lockpicks. I wasn't really good at lockpicking. I honestly was breaking so many lockpicks, unlocking anything at this point. This at the time was one of my biggest issues in the game. It didn't stop me from progressing, but it certainly did slow it down by a lot. I hated going in caves and dungeons, seeing so many chests and coffins I could unlock, but I had no keys. Wait, did I just say coffins? Well, yeah. Because in my attempt to clear my bounty, I stooped so low that I was now apparently grave robbing. A man's gotta do what a man's gonna do. But I even got distracted from finding lockpicks at this point, because you know what? I encountered a vampire. What? Are vampires a thing in the Elder Scrolls universe? Now, if you've watched some of my previous videos, you might have seen me trying to explore Resident Evil Village as someone who grew up in Transylvania. So obviously as someone from there, I had to ask myself, can you turn yourself into a vampire in this game? Oh, I had to try it. I just had to. So instead of battling the vampires, I kind of just let them get close to me to bite me, you know? But instead of doing that, they were just trying to run away. Come back and bite me. I even fought the vampire matriarch, but they didn't bite me either. How do the vampires in this universe create more vampires? I was quite disappointed, but I didn't lose hope, even though I murdered all the vampires in this cave. Now I knew vampires exist in this universe. There had to be a way. So yeah, I kept trying to get lockpicks and loot stuff so I can sell them, and when I collected enough, I went back to the city to sell my stuff and... the shopkeepers were still dead. With the guard patrolling the shop. Honestly, I was surprised. I was kind of expecting them to just respawn, but no. Once they are dead, they are dead. Which kind of means that a madman out there had a playthrough of this game where they murdered everyone and were the only ones left alive. But not for me though. I was fixated on becoming a vampire. But for some reason, I couldn't find any more Hold on. What is happening? I want to drink your blood, blah blah blah. Oh, why am I even doing this? I don't need a fake accent to sound like that. Yeah, somehow I went to sleep on a random night and woke up with a text saying that during the night I fed on someone and I turned into a vampire, so... mission accomplished? Somehow? I genuinely had no idea how it happened. Not that I was complaining about it. No, that comes a bit later. For now, I was like, oh hell yeah, look at how many buffs I got from this, it's so overpowered. I can even go in the sun, there are no downsides to this whatsoever, besides a small weakness to the fire. It only took one day to pass in which I destroyed another Oblivion gate to come back to the town, passed the night and realized... wait, am I taking damage in the sun? I didn't really grasp the full extent of it yet. In fact, I saw it as a good thing. If I constantly get hurt by the sun, that means I can level up my healing spells, as I can constantly spam them. I was excited for about 5 minutes about this, until I had to continue my journey into the Dark Brotherhood and barely made it into a house to protect myself from sunlight. So I now have to wait until the night to be able to explore? Well, lessons learned, I guess. Huh? What's that? Lessons not learned at all, in fact? Yeah, for some reason, instead of doing that, I wanted to make my experience as miserable as possible for a while, and I had to keep running from one cave to another, barely surviving. Sure, you might have had a great experience by this point, but my life is drab and wretched by comparison. No, seriously, nothing was going well for me. I had to hide in the night, I couldn't find where the guy I had to kill was hiding, and on top of that, I spent 1 hour farming mobs for lockpicks. You heard that right, 1 hour for lockpicks. But then I managed to find the guy I had to kill, and I kid you not, literally by accident I pressed the interact button instead of the attack button, which revealed that I can bite him. That was such an incredible lucky find. I honestly don't know if I would have ever checked on sleeping people if this didn't happen. I remember even checking the game menu for help about vampirism and there was nothing. So what did this do? Well, the way the vampirism seemed to work was that as the days progressed, you became stronger and stronger, but you also become more weak to the fire and take even more damage from the sun. Feeding on people doesn't cure anything, it just resets vampirism to the first stage. It was still absolutely fantastic because not only I found that out, but by finding and killing this guy, I was accepted in the Dark Brotherhood. And in here, my life instantly became better. I love this place. I was given contracts to kill people, and sure, they didn't always go smoothly. Why are the guards not helping me? I'm literally being attacked and on the table. Guys, why are you staring at me? But these contracts gave me good money, items, and the best part, I found a merchant here that sells lockpicks. Finally, I was not going to have no lockpicks constantly. But oh boy, the seller of these lockpicks, man, he hated my guts. He hated everything about me. He didn't even want to interact with me. If I dropped dead in front of him, he'd smile and leave. And he didn't even make it subtle either.
I don't have all day. Hurry it up.
But I guess I couldn't blame him. I was a newbie, he couldn't trust me yet. And he did solve a big issue I had, so whatever. So I continued taking more assassination requests from the Dark Brotherhood, and even got to murder the prisoner that was in the cell next to me at the start of the game. That in itself wasn't too hard, to be honest, but doing it made a lot of guards chase me through the sewers all the way to the exit. Great, I made it out alive. But you know what? At this point, I let my vampirism grow probably like 3 times as the bonuses you'd get from it were massive. But that also meant the sun felt like I put oil on my body and went out on a sunny day in New Zealand. Okay, maybe not as bad, but it hurt like hell. This was all so miserable as I couldn't return to the sewers. I also couldn't fast travel as I was taking damage. I barely managed to do it, only to be followed by a hammer-wielding Khaljit. I managed to survive that too somehow and waited for the night, teleported to a city, and went to rent a bed to sleep.
Get back, you filthy beast! I'll have...
Oh, she won't talk to me? Not only her, everyone calls me a monster and refuses to talk to me. This was turning so inconvenient, but at this point, I didn't want to bite anyone to revert the process, because I was curious to see if allowing enough days to pass without doing anything would turn me into a full vampire. I can tell you from now that it doesn't, or at least not just by passing the time, but I never found that out in this playthrough. Maybe someone in the comments can confirm if there's nothing further regarding a transformation or if you just have to do something else. Maybe I was just being stupid. In fact, no, not maybe. I was being very stupid. Allow me to demonstrate. As a vampire that has weakness to the sunlight, you take damage from the sun. Clear enough, right? Well, not for me, because I don't remember the reason why I even did this, but I went outside next to the entrance of a city and I just used the wait function of the game to wait for the day, and when it did, I just woke up dead. Okay, that was stupid. I don't know what I expected. Of course, I had to be inside somewhere protected and wait for the day, so let's try that. Oh, wait, who's this? What happened to my character? Why does he look like this? And why is my name user input text? Yeah, I have no idea how, but I corrupted the game save by just dying. Are these the bugs Bethesda games are known for? I was expecting more of a whoop, now you're shooting up in the air at 100 kilometers per hour, rather than whoop, now you're a completely different character. Anyway, I remembered why I wanted to wait for the day. I had to sell some stuff. And what better way to do it than to go to the largest city, maybe even the capital. So after spending 30 minutes trying to break into a house to drink some blood, I managed to get to a merchant and sold everything I had to. Whilst in the city, I also kept seeing some posters about a certain arena, and I thought, hey, that looked interesting. The way they frame it, it almost looks like a co-op thing. I thought to myself that I'd need to check that later. That was the biggest lie I told to myself, because looking back through the footage, I got so distracted with other things, I never actually went in there. Because you know what? I had to finish this Dark Brotherhood questline. And for those of you that have not played this game before, you might be wondering, why is he so focused on talking about this Dark Brotherhood side quest? Believe me, there's a good reason. It's not just a side quest. So the next quest had me kill this drug addict, as I guess this universe also has hard drugs, with this one being called Kuma. and I could have not approached this in a wronger way. So I found out from his wife that during the day he does not spend the time where they live, but rather out in the city, and I also found out that it's actually in an abandoned house. Okay, well, let me lockpick this place. Fantastic! He's there! But apparently he wants me to bring him some kuma. Alright, I go to a different town, buy some kuma from a seller, return it to him, and as a result, he said that we are now friends. The reward? The keys to the house we are already in. Are you kidding me? You mean to tell me I went through all of this effort just to get access to the house I was already in? In fact, why would I even do that when the quest clearly told me he needs to die in a secluded place? I think I thought this wasn't secluded enough, but after this I wasn't going to try to lure him somewhere else. So I just got rid of him right there. On to the next target, Adamus Philida, which has hunted the Dark Brotherhood for as long as he worked as a general? Something higher up, I don't remember what. Now he retired though, but the Dark Brotherhood needed to send a message. You are not safe from them even when retired, or especially when you're retired. But this guy had a very high quality armor, so fighting him fairly would not go well for me. Instead, the Dark Brotherhood gave me a special arrow that would one-shot him if only I could shoot him unarmored. How did I get him unarmored? Well, unlike the other lunatics around him, he goes to sleep without the... Adamus, where are you going? That bed is already full... I think I'll just leave you guys be. Maybe that's for the best. The way I managed to not attract attention was by using this chameleon skill, and to be honest, I don't really fully understand what it does. It doesn't really make you invisible fully. People can still see you, but sometimes they just don't attack you. Sometimes they do. But this skill had the weirdest bug where it made all my clothes go invisible, but not my head and my weapon. It didn't just happen this one time. Right, so I did it again. I fast traveled, but as I did, it turned into day, so I instantly died. Hey, at least that fixed my visual bug. And now the really interesting part of the quest starts. So initially, when I joined the Dark Brotherhood, I was assigned a team. These guys have different rankings, which, to be honest with you, I don't really remember the names of. I started off by talking to a guy that was second in command here. Every time I would get an assignment from him, I would be able to talk to the others in the hideout as they would give me clues on how to proceed. Sometimes it would be as simple as try to hide, but other times they would reveal secret ways to complete assassinations like I heard this guy is in this location around this time of the day. After a few assignments I was promoted, but that also meant I wasn't taking any more assignments from the underling but from the leader of this hideout. But that is all they were, the leader of the hideout. There were higher ranking individuals than them out there, much higher. So after completing more tasks, they told me a higher ranking individual wanted me to meet them directly. Who was this higher ranked individual? None other than the guy who recruited me, Lucien Lachaine. Now, no one knows why he wants to speak with me, as unlike the other ones, this one is a secret assignment. Something so secret that even the other members couldn't know. Heck, even the leader of the hideout couldn't know. Apparently, Lucien confirmed that there is a traitor in my hideout. And the reason why I was told and chosen for this was because the traitor has been operating since before I joined. My task now was to murder everyone in the hideout, as he couldn't find out who the traitor was and we couldn't take any risks. I mean, I wasn't too attached to any of the people in there, to be honest. They were all just monsters, so I wouldn't feel bad to do it. Especially that bastard who hated my guts. I will enjoy killing him the most. So I returned to the hideout to complete the task. On the way there, I was a bit conflicted, not going to lie, but not because I'd feel bad, but because I finally found a place to buy lockpicks from and now I have to murder the person that sells them? That would bring me back to square one. But I decided to see this through. I was too far deep into this quest, I couldn't back down. The decision was made easier knowing how much I wanted to get rid of the guy that kept insulting me every time I spoke to him and...
Ah, there you are. Look, I've been thinking, and, well, I guess I just want to say that I am sorry for the way I've treated you in the past.
Oh no, what are you doing to me, my friend? Now we have 100% friendship? Game, what are you doing to me? No, I have to finish the task. I could have approached this in a more sneaky fashion, but I thought if I was going to betray them, They deserve to be stabbed in the front, not the back. I was even given a stone to summon a vengeful ghost to help me, but I thought, I'll just save that one for later, I won't use it for now. Yeah, good job, Past Me, you saved it for later indeed. You saved it for the next game because you ended up not using it at all. Anyway, going back to Lucian, he revealed something that shocked me. He revealed that only 4% of the people who are watching this are subscribed. He's holding me hostage, guys. Unless I get that to 5%, he would make me play the whole game with a bounty on my head. On a serious note, if you've been enjoying this so far, in the days of AI algorithm controlling our lives, YouTube seems to really love people liking, commenting and subscribing, so I'd appreciate if you do any of these. Back to the game though, due to my success I was promoted again. I was now going to only take assignments from Lucien himself, but he won't give them to me directly. No, he wanted to leave dead drops in random locations with notes on who I was going to get rid of next and the rewards from the previous task. Okay, sure. He also gave me a very cool looking horse, Shadowmare. Wait, no, it's written Shadow M-E-R-E, so maybe it's French. I officially got Shadowmare. I didn't really know how it worked. Where do I need to leave it? Can I call upon him later like you can in Witcher? These questions were absolutely irrelevant because as I headed with my new horse towards the first dead drop, I realized horses in this game are incredibly slow, especially going up a mountain. My character is so much faster than the horse, and if I had to travel a long distance, I could literally just fast travel. What is even the point of horses in this game? Now, if I was able to pay $10 to give the horse a shiny armor, I might have used it. But unfortunately that is not possible. Moving on though, I continued taking the tasks until I was given one where I got really stuck. So I was supposed to assassinate this Khajiit located in a house in Bruma, the northern city close to Skyrim. Knowing that his name was Jocasta, I was able to figure out where his house was, as when you get close to a door it tells you whose house it is. Great, it only took 2 seconds to break into this house. But the guy was nowhere to be found. Okay, no problem, I'll just wait for the night for him to go to sleep and come back to finish him. But I can't wait outside as it's day, I need to find a place to hide, so I'll just go in the blacksmith. Wait, it's locked? Is it too early? Oh no, this is bad. Okay, I need to quickly reach the house that I broke in earlier as I know that it'll still be open and... never mind. Let's try that again. Time to go to the guy's house and finish the deed. Oh, he's still not home? Okay, let's wait a few more hours. Still not in. Alright, we wait even more. Still nothing. I kept passing the time to the point I was passing full days just to see where he was, but still nothing. On the bright side, I discovered that this game might have seasons, as it suddenly started to snow and my clothes were freezing. That looked awesome. But surely I was missing something, right? In a normal playthrough, this would be the point where I would give up and Google it. I spent 20 minutes on it already with no luck. But not in this playthrough, I wouldn't give up so easily. But still, the guy was nowhere to be found. I was following the red arrow indicating where he would be and I honestly thought it's just pointing to the house where I'm already in. What am I missing? Well, after 40 minutes of messing around, I followed the arrow more closely and realized it was literally in front of me the first time. The guy was in a secret training room that was hidden by some rocks. And if you think that 40 minutes to figure this out was long, oh boy, you'll see in a bit what it actually means to take a long time. But for now, Jocasta was dead and I was able to move to the next target. Hailstein Whoreblood, located in the north border up in the mountains. And after finishing him off, I saw Mage Tower further up, so I had to go investigate it. Reading through a book here, it told me that in order to fully activate this tower, I would have to buy some items. This seemed quite straightforward, as the book even told me where I can locate the items. Magnificent! I'll get to this in a bit. For now though, time to go to the next dead drop. And in here, I got a bit suspicious as the dead drop seemed to be placed in an underwater cavern in a random chest. Why would Lucien leave this note in here out of all the places? This felt so weird. But I didn't have time to think. I was told where my next target would be, so I headed directly at him and found out he's also an archer. Oh, okay, bring it on. There's not enough room for 2 archers in this town. The archer who will survive this battle shall be crowned as the best archer in town. Wait, did we just kill each other? Roll it back a bit. Yeah, we did. Let's try that again, shall we? The victor of this battle shall become crowned as the best archer in Tamriel. And that victor shall be me. I bet Lucien will be so happy with my accomplishments. Oh, Lucien, why are you here?
No! No! I'm too late.
And why are you upset at me? What do you mean you came to stop me? I just did what you told me. Well, here's one of the most interesting plot twists I've experienced in a video game. First 2 dead drops were completely without issues, but after that, Lucien told me I've been ignoring them and instead, I started killing off the Black Hand members one by one. Someone intercepted a note and rewrote the location of the dead drops, asking me to murder Black Hand members instead. And the worst part? This was in front of my eyes the whole time. Remember the Khaljit I got rid of earlier? Well, what I did not tell you was that next to his bed, I found the Dark Brotherhood book that contained the history of this cult, and as I read through it, I found it really interesting how genuinely historical it felt, with passages such as, the first time the Brotherhood was mentioned in a history book was X and Y. So I kept reading through it, but I got so invested in it that I did not stop for 1 second to think, wait, why would this Khaljit have such a book next to his bed? That's odd. So now, after finding another book where the traitor was hiding, the full truth was revealed. This was a journal left by Lucien's previous silencer, which is the rank of someone working under Lucien's rank. Earlier, Lucien did mention that his previous silencer died whilst out on an assignment, but I never questioned anything more on that end. I thought it was just a way for the game to find an excuse for me to become the silencer. But no, the reason why this silencer became a traitor was due to his past, as his mother was killed by this cult and so he vowed revenge on it, and for the longest time he planned on infiltrating the cult to destroy it from within. What we are seeing right now is just a culmination of that plan. So there was never a traitor in the hideout. Everyone there was innocent. Well, okay, not innocent, they were still murderous beasts, but that means my best friend, the Khaljit, was dead for no reason. And because I murdered most of the Black Hand members, Lucien was blamed for it, so the rest of the members that were left alive tried to hunt him down, so he had to go and hide. But not before he told me where to find him once I find this book that absolves him of all of this. So now that I found it, I had to return to show him the book. Only to find out the members found him before me and have already tortured and killed him, and oh boy, the way they did it, how they left him, so utterly grotesque, I'm not even sure I can show it to you on YouTube. You'll just have to believe me. On the bright side though, his position just got an opening and without any interview, I got accepted for the new role. Even more, the true leader of the cult, the Night Mother, requested an audience with me, so we went to the chamber to summon her, only to find out that this is what the traitor has been waiting for all along, to get to the Night Mother so he can murder her? No, she's already dead. What exactly is his plan? To exorcise her? Well, instead, I just exorcise him, and as a reward, I get promoted to assistant to the regional manager. Beats, Bears, Battlestar Galactica. As the assistant to the regional manager, I get to visit the statue of the Night Mother every week to collect any assassination requests individuals might have placed and give them to one of the Black Hand members of the hideout who is now my underling. With that, every week I get a payment for the assassinations other members have done during the week. Which is really neat. The only issue is that there was only one member I could recruit, and so every week I'd just get 200 coins. That's not nothing, but it's barely even worth doing all this every week for 200 coins, and I couldn't find a way to increase the amount. But this means that was the end of the Dark Brotherhood questline, and man, what a questline that was. I was quite satisfied with side quests for now, so I decided to finally continue the main story. I completely forgot we have a doomsday approaching, to be fair. So now that we are over with all this cult thing, it's time to focus on another cult, Mythic Dawn. Apparently someone managed to track down these cultists and found out that they are worshipping Dagon, which meant absolutely nothing to me at the time. All I knew was that after killing one of their members, I found a book on them, so I had to go to someone capable of reading because apparently I wasn't enough to analyze the book. Someone located at the mage headquarters. This lizard tells me the book I found was part of 4 volumes of a book series and that the secret to this cult might be revealed if I find all 4 of them. She did have the first 2 volumes, but apparently volume 3 and 4 are really rare, almost unique. But I was told the bookstore in the capital might have one, so I went there. They technically did have it. But it was already sold to someone and that someone was just coming in to collect it. Luckily for me, I'm a thief, so I managed to steal the book off of them as soon as they received it. Not only that, but I also found out that the 4th book is only ever given to you by a member of the Mythic Dawn. The person whom I stole the book from was meant to meet with them in the sewers. Okay, got it. I go tell the lizard about this and head to the sewers to meet with the cult leader alongside with Boris. The meeting did not go too well. We got into some altercation, but it was good, because it made me realize that some weapons have special attacks which require charges. The bow I had completely ran out of charges, so I needed to recharge it. In order to find out how to recharge it, I had to go through the help menu of the game, reading all the menus and finding a tiny section telling me how I needed to use soul gems to recharge my weapons. Oh, soul gems you say, huh? I kind of sold all the soul gems I had earlier because I had them in my bag for the longest time and I couldn't find the use for them. I sold all of them. So I went back to the merchant I remembered I sold them to and spent 1000 gold just to buy them back. Stonks. I need to be honest with you, at this point I kind of had it with only being able to go out at night. So after talking to the lizard lady again who told me to check back with her the next day, I tried following the quest to remove the vampire curse I had. And I got stuck on it almost instantly. Let me explain. Firstly, I want to begin by saying this quest is quite interesting. The ruler of the castle's kin guard apparently is a vampire and is looking for a cure as well. But not for himself. He doesn't mind being a vampire at all. Since he and his wife became vampires 50 years prior to the story, he's been having a blast with his newfound powers. But his wife? Not so much. She went full Tokyo Ghoul mode and refused to, how he puts it, keep herself healthy. He also told me that she slipped into a coma and has not awoken since. So if I accept to help him out, he offered to give us a hint where we might find a person that knows how to remove this curse. Brilliant, let me go there straight away. Apparently the person who knows how to remove this curse is this old lady. Oh, but before she tells me how to remove it, I have to help her too. She requires me to bring her 5 grand soulstone gems. More soulstone gems? Brilliant, how many do I have at the moment? Absolutely none? I guess I'll just keep being a vampire for a bit. I told myself, okay, maybe the Mages Guild would have some soulstone gems, let me go there and find out. And I instantly got distracted. They did not have it, but I thought if I join their guild, I may find a mage merchant that does. But I wasn't even sure I could join the guild. I already joined the Dark Brotherhood, can I join more than one guild? Now this is the sort of question you'd be able to ask Google, but unfortunately I didn't have that luxury, so instead, back to the help menu it was. And as I was reading through the guild section, I saw the description of one that I was not even interested in before this. The Thieves Guild. In there I can apparently sell stolen goods. That would be fantastic, I had to do that. I couldn't find anywhere to say I'd only be able to join one guild, so the only way to find out was to try. And I'm so happy I did. Just like the Dark Brotherhood guild, you start off as the lowest scum and climb in ranks. But even from the start, after speaking with the first guy that gave me assignments, I found out that he can sell me lockpicks for such a cheap price. I took advantage of that and brought as many lockpicks as my sanity allowed me because I could only buy them one at a time. Brilliant! I won't be having issues with lockpicks for a long time now. I won't talk as much about the Thieves Guild because it didn't have a story that impressed me as much as the Dark Brotherhood one did. But I do have to mention it and you'll see why in a second. The task that was given for this was obviously to steal things. It was quite interesting because unlike the other guild, this one strictly prohibits killing anyone, so instead of going in without thinking, I had to plan ahead to sneak around and not be seen while I was doing the quest. Or let Casper do the killing. I wasn't the one that did that, okay? I'm innocent. Now, there was one point I got stuck at here. After finishing a few quests, I upgraded in rank, meaning I couldn't speak with the same person anymore for the next quest. In fact, Armand Christophe, the guy giving me the quest, had to go in hiding. Okay, but then where do I go next? Well, the quest just says, I'll need to go find out where he's hiding. Maybe one of the other Thieves Guild members know. I'll have to start asking around.
He's in hiding. I hear Methridel is...
Okay, where? I'm checking the map and there's no marker at all. Let's try inside these houses. Surely these outlaws would know, no?
He's in hiding. I hear Methridel is...
Yeah, I know he's hiding, but Methridel apparently is looking for me. That's cool. Who's Methridel? And where do I find them? I had no idea where to find them. The other guild members just told me the same thing and the quest log did not update. Did I even meet this Methridel ever? Well, instead of finding her, after a few more minutes, she appeared out of nowhere and found me. Oh, thank god, I was starting to think that this Thieves Guild quest may not be completable due to how generic the quest log is. I'm so thankful that this is over. Surely there's nothing else in the future that will be just like this, but far worse. Anyway, on to the next quest, where I had to find the ring and do something with it. I don't really remember. But I need to show you this is quite interesting. Remember how I was so happy I found a lot of lockpicks? Well, suddenly that was kind of irrelevant because... ignore the woman standing on the bed, she's just relaxing, okay? Let me quickly pass through to show you what I mean. By the way, for some reason, this invisibility spell makes me appear as if I'm wearing weird clothes I'm not actually wearing. Anyway, as I lockpick this hard chest, I realized that I'm not breaking that many locks anymore. I think I finally found a way to lockpick that works for me. In fact, from this point, I paid attention to it and I barely broke any using the method I just used. Now, I could tell you about how I stole 3 Grand Soulstone gems from the Mages Guild headquarters, or how I remembered that the name of the game was Elder Scrolls as I found out what the Elder Scrolls were, but... I think I might have done something very stupid. So as part of the Thieves Guild quest, I was asked to find out what happened to a thief named Tyrannus as he went to steal a book from the castle and Skin Garden never returned. Cool, sounds straightforward. Well, that quest took me to a jail cell holding this guy, Larthar the Laggard. Now, this is not the guy I was looking for, but he did tell me that he was held there until a few days ago when a certain pale lady came and took him somewhere. This pale lady comes and takes people from the cells every few days. Okay, that's all I get from this guy. So I tried unlocking the prison cell to let him escape and he was really struggling to do it. Really struggling. I thought, okay, maybe I don't have to interact with him, but then where do I go? The questline didn't update much past that. It only said he was taken somewhere and he put up quite a lot of struggle as he was taken away and was bleeding. It literally also says that that is the only clue. What do I do with that information? I went around asking the beggars to see if they know more. In the Thieves Guild, beggars seem to be the people you'd go for rumors and hints about the quest, but in this case, it wasn't too helpful. And I'm not going to lie, for 20 minutes here I just walked around the castle and the city to see if there's anyone else that has information. Nothing there either. Okay, let me go back to the cells, maybe there's a clue there. Oh, hi friend, you're still here. Enjoying your newfound freedom, I see. So I checked to see if there's anything weird in the prison cells and discovered a secret door leading to somewhere in the castle. I thought, aha, I got it. This will surely lead me to where I need to be. But nope, it just led me to a wine cellar. Now, in all fairness, I got myself so many bottles of wine here I must have sold at least 2,000 gold coins worth. After stealing everything I could find there, I returned to the cell thinking maybe the guy needs to escape for the quest to progress, so I just did what he told me he'd need to escape and wait a few hours. Nope, nothing. Okay, let's wait even more. He's still standing there, why are you not moving?
A little bird.
And now there's a guy that teleported behind me out of nowhere. Oh no, our friend there is in trouble. Are you okay there? Do you need any help?
Out of the way, slop drudge.
So this guy just doesn't want to leave this room. Let me try to open the door and force him out. Oh, okay, now I have a bounty on me for opening the door because when the guy left, he locked it. No, let's try it again. Come on, friend. Out you go. You can do it. No, don't go behind the door again. Go, you're free. There we go. No, why are you trying to go back now? And the guard here is literally ignoring him. What is even happening at this point? Anyway, time passes again with me just wasting time in the city not knowing what to do. Came back to the prison and it hit me. It was the blood. He was dragged and left blood on the floor. And the place he was taken? The wine cellar behind the secret door where the massive barrels were. All this time for this? Now, you may think I told you all of this to show you how confused I was, and partly, yeah, but another thing happened in there. I found the pale lady and she attacked me as soon as I saw her, so I killed her, and instead of rescuing the guy I was meant to, I rescued another prisoner, and he told me that the guy I was looking for was already dead and that the pale lady was in fact a vampire. And then reality hit me. A vampire? What castle am I in? Oh god, it's the same castle as the vampire noble that asked me to find a cure for his wife. Did I just kill his wife? But wait, he told me his wife was in a coma. Was he lying? Maybe I won't be able to finish the quest to unvampire myself anymore. Not that I could anyway, because I only had 3 Grand Soulstone gems so far. So I thought, okay, that was enough of the Thieves quest, I wasted too much time, let me return to the main quest where I had to speak with the lizard lady from the mage headquarters. I bet enough time has passed that she discovered a few more things about the cult. Brilliant, she actually did. And I just need to give her the 3rd and the 4th volume of the book. Wait, hold on, I already gave it to you. I already gave it to her, didn't I? I could have sworn I already did that. This is bad. This is really bad. I remember when I finished the previous quest, I thought I was done with the book, so on one trip to a merchant, I just sold them. I knew for a fact I sold them, but where? Well, my first thought was, one of the books was stolen, so it only makes sense I sold them to one of the Thieves Guild merchants, right? So I went to the one in Bravel and... no, they weren't there. But if not there, where? My next best bet was somewhere in the Imperial City because that had the most merchants, but the downside was that had the most merchants. I checked as many merchants as I could and did not find any books. I genuinely had zero clue where it was. I had to look back on the footage and analyze where I left them. Was this allowed? It's not Googling, so it's allowed, right? So I looked through the footage and yep, there it is. Mythic Dawn Commentaries 3. But the thing is, coming back to where I was in the game currently, I already checked that guy and there was nothing. Could the merchants just get rid of the stuff in their inventories? But those books were unique, what was I going to do? I was so lost. For the first time in this game, I genuinely felt defeated. Not because of weirdly worded quests, not because of a bug, but because of my own mistake. And going back to the point I sold them meant erasing 10 hours of progress at least. Was this it for the run? Well, no, not really, no. Because somehow deep in my brain I remember the detail that should for all intents and purposes have been completely pointless. And yet in this situation it might have saved the run. So as part of acquiring these books earlier on, we went to the sewers to meet with the cultists for the 4th book. This was after I stole the 3rd book from the lady that came to buy it. And as I was looting around back then, I somehow remembered seeing more of the books there and I thought to myself, well, these are pointless, I won't even bother picking them up. I didn't remember which volumes, but it was my only hope, I had to go and check. And after getting there and checking the place, searching every chest, every small corner of this hideout, I found it. Mythic Dawn Commentaries 3. I couldn't believe it. But there was no Mythic Dawn Commentaries 4 here. Still, I had to try going back to the lizard lady and try like this, and here's the thing. It wasn't just this that saved me. It was also a lot of luck, because I don't think I actually sold the 4th volume for whatever reason, because with the 3rd volume acquired, I was able to progress. And progress I did. For a short while. To begin with, I discovered that my bow had the ability to trap souls into a soul gem, which was actually a really useful ability as I could use the soul gems to recharge my weapons. The issue was that the empty Grand Soulstone gems I was collecting to cure my vampirism weren't so empty anymore. To avoid this from happening in the future, I decided to put all the soul gems I find in a chest in the Dark Brotherhood hideout. And with that, I continued the Thieves Guild questline. As I was saying, it wasn't as interesting as the Dark Brotherhood one. Their leader, the Grey Fox, had this cowl of nocturnal thing on his head that makes it so that when you wear it, all the records of your existence just disappear. That in itself is a very interesting concept, to be fair, but so far it didn't get to the level of the Dark Brotherhood quest. Let's progress through it a bit more, maybe it gets better. Which brought me to having to go steal something from a mage from the Mage Guild. And this one quest was the most painful quest I had so far. Right, so you start with a quest telling you the mage has the item hidden in a tower which you cannot go to because it's magically locked. By asking around, you discover that there is a secret passage leading from the mage's room in the castle to the tower. That sounds really easy, right? It was. I sneaked my way into the room and found the entrance to the secret tunnel. I got a bit distracted though, as part of the cave had this deep underwater place where you can swim for a long time without reaching the bottom. I thought this was where I was supposed to head to, so I used some potions of underwater breathing, fought a large fish, collected some loot and found the hatch. Aha! Wait, no, that brought me to the bottom of this lake outside of the tunnel. In here I got a bit distracted by a weird looking door which of course I wanted to enter to see what's on the other side of the portal, but the door just told me to fuck off. So I fucked off back to the tunnel, cleared all the enemies around and finally got to where the guiding spell wanted me to go to. The only issue was that the path was blocked by this locked door. Even so, from the moment I joined the Thieves Guild, I stopped having issues with lockpicks completely, as I could just buy them from their merchants in bulks of hundreds. Not that I needed so many, as by now I was a master at lockpicking, so this won't be an issue at all. This door did not allow lockpicking. And it wasn't even the first door that I encountered that wouldn't let me lockpick it. For all the other doors like this though, the key was really easy to find. But nothing here. I checked everybody. I checked every barrel, every chest. There was nothing that would indicate a key. So I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't even be at this door. Maybe I should go through somewhere else. So instead of following the guiding spell, I followed the red arrow again. And maybe because of how I missed the basement last time, I trusted the red arrow too much here. It was literally just pointing towards the wall and I could even hear movements of enemies on the other end. I thought maybe there's a secret entrance that would open a passage there, but no. I spent so much time in this cave running around trying to see if there's any way in and nothing. This time I was completely lost. I had to progress through the game though, I couldn't be stuck here forever. This was just a side quest, I can simply go back to the main quest. So I made the tough decision of leaving the quest for now. Defeated, I infiltrated the hideout of the main antagonist cult of this game. And sure, I did get rid of everyone in there, but this was the point I realized I wasn't one-shotting anyone anymore. Instead of the game becoming easier as I progressed through the levels, it constantly got harder. I didn't feel like a sneaky assassin anymore, my shots felt a lot heavier. Wait, it's not just them that felt like that. Yeah, so after fighting some vampires that dropped some really good items, I got heavily encumbered and I did not want to drop anything, just in case the items would disappear by the time I'd be back. And this was the point I discovered how truly inconvenient it was to be encumbered. Up until now, sure, I might have gotten encumbered a bit here and there, but nothing I couldn't resolve by dropping some items. But not this time. I didn't have anything to drop. First thing I tried was fast traveling, which I didn't really have high hopes for. Of course you couldn't. Instead, now is the perfect time to use my horse. If I knew where it was. For most of the game, it seems that the horse just teleports to the nearest paddocks or at the entrance of the dungeon you are in, but I've been ignoring it because I'm faster. And the only time I needed Shadowmare, he wasn't there for me. So that means I have to walk all the way there. After 10 minutes of playing Death Stranding, I managed to finally get to a merchant and get filthy rich. I could even buy a house if I wanted to. But at this point I didn't need it anymore, as I had a Dark Brotherhood hideout. Even if I had a proper home, the world could be doomed if the cult manages to bring back Goro. And whilst I did manage to steal an important book from the cult, their leader managed to escape into a different realm to continue his plan. And he still had the amulet. So unless we get in there to stop him, the world will be doomed. So how do we do that? Well, to begin, it seems that every major city had Oblivion gates appear at their entrance. And some of you may be wondering, if they could make a teleporter outside of the gate of the city, why not just make it inside its walls? And to those of you wondering that, well, don't, okay? Don't wonder that. Maybe they're just like vampires and cannot come to the house uninvited. Although I don't think that rule applies in this game based on how many houses I broke in. Anyway, I decided to start helping with this city because I was already here and got a bit scared, as I not only had to close the gate, but I also had to show someone how to do it. And as I reached the top of the tower where the sigil was and read through the quest details, I got a bit concerned. Did I actually have to escort someone all the way up there? Well, luckily no, because as I stole the sigil, I guess he took the credit and said he closed it with me and... Are these guys attacking me? I thought they were attacking the spider, but no, they're attacking me. What did I even do to you guys this time? I don't even have a bounty on me, please. I didn't have time for their shenanigans, so I made myself invisible and moved to the next gate I was supposed to close. And this one? I wanted to try something different. What if I tried to avoid all the fights and just go straight to the top of the tower? I already learned you can skip these massive gates by jumping on their side, and at this point, I learned the layout of the tower. There were some towers in this game that had a bit of variety in the things you had to do, but I'd say 70% of the ones I've done were very similar. So I ignored absolutely everyone that was attacking me and went straight up. I even counted the time it took, and I managed to do it in 2 minutes. But here's the thing about doing something like this. Knowing I was able to do this, it was really hard not to abuse this for every Oblivion gate I was closing. You could say, yeah, but you would skip the loot in the level, and that is true, but the loot wasn't that good if I'm honest. At the start, when I took my time with these gates, I explored around everywhere and couldn't find anything worth. The only item that is actually worth is gained at the top of the tower in the form of the sigil you steal to close the gate. You can use the sigil to enchant a weapon, adding it different attributes. But yeah, I had no issues with the next gates. The most confusing part was a gate that had 2 small towers and a big one, and I had to connect some bridges from the small towers to the big one before being able to close it. At this point, I got distracted again because I remembered I wanted to complete the quest for the Mage Tower. Getting it unlocked was really straightforward though, as the book was very thorough with the description of the items you need, and by this point money was not an issue for me. So after spending most of my money, I managed to unlock all the capabilities of the tower and oh boy, does it have a lot of things. Honestly, it has everything you'd need. It has an alchemy table that increases your alchemy by a lot, it has a vault where you can store items, a few summoning areas where you can summon your own elemental guardian, and a few other interesting bits. But by far the most interesting part was the spell-making table. I lost a lot of time in here because using this you can build whatever skill you want. You want to make yourself invisible? Sure, you can. Choose the amount of seconds you want it to last. Or you can choose if you want to make yourself invisible or someone you touch. Or how about a target in a long range? How about multiple targets in an area? Oh, but what if you want a combination of throwing a fireball that also makes the enemies invisible? Well, why would you want that? I don't know, okay, but the world is your oyster. This kind of made the game feel a bit more sandboxy for me, and it opened up what I could do by a lot. It really opened the floodgates of things that I can see being abused. I tried not abusing anything too much in this game, and it might have not even worked, but here's an example I can think of. In order to cast certain spells, you need to have a certain level on your skills. So you want to cast a fireball? Well, even if you have the necessary level to cast a high skill fireball, you might not have the mana. Okay then, but what if you cast a spell to fortify your intelligence to gain more mana? Right, but you don't have enough mana to cast a spell that would give you so much mana. No problem then, just make a spell that's going to give you a bit of mana, enough for you to cast a stronger intelligence spell. I'm being a bit confusing and I may be wrong, but I definitely feel like this could really be abused. But enough with the spell talk, I made almost all the spells I would need. The only one missing would be a spell to shut this guy up. Seriously, there's this prince that you have to help in one of the gates and he's the most obnoxious character I found in the game so far. You know what, I challenge you guys to show me a more obnoxious character than this in Oblivion. Maybe I missed them. He kept being rude and demanding to the point I just felt like leaving him behind. In fact, that's exactly what I tried to do by going to the sigil without him and closing the gate. But somehow, he teleported out too. I thought, hey, maybe he'll make himself useful later, but nope, not even that. So with the gates closed, the only things left was to bring Martin some special artifacts so that he could somehow use their powers to decipher the book I managed to steal from the cult. Honestly, I didn't even question him, he just told me to bring items and I listened to him. This wasn't too hard at all, the quests to bring him the required items were straightforward. Interestingly enough, the types of enemies in the overworld seem to have changed as I progressed through the levels, but in some of the dungeons they remain the same, meaning at least when I was doing the main quests, I wasn't feeling too underpowered. It was also interesting to see that even though you might have two enemy types you have to fight, that doesn't necessarily mean they get on with each other. Well, I guess I'm rooting for the underdog. Ah, never mind, they killed him. So after retrieving another item for Martin, he revealed that the last item needed can only be obtained from opening a massive gate to the Oblivion so that I can steal a great sigil from it. Okay, now I have my doubts about you, Martin. Not necessarily because you want to do this. Sure, I can help closing your massive gate. Okay, that sounded wrong. But still, Martin, was it really necessary to open it right next to the city? I did not die on this assault, but my frames sure did. And so I fought a bit in here, but the enemies kept respawning and they even breakdanced. And the more I fought, the more gates opened. Martin, are you sure about this? I'll just leave you fight here and I'll go inside the massive one to close it down. For the first time though, the game introduced a time gate. I have to do it quickly, otherwise a massive drill, or whatever that is, will pass through the gate. Game, please, I don't think you understand I've been training for this for the past hours. So of course I closed the gate in less than 3 minutes. Hold on, did I fail? How did the drill almost make it through? I was so fast. Hey, maybe they'll disassemble it and make something nice out of it. But with this, Martin was finally able to open a portal to the realm where the guy who stole the amulet was hiding in. And for the whole game, I've been kind of reluctant to do it, but for this final battle I had to finally use it. I finally recruited one of the assassins from the hideout, and I also spawned one of the fire elementals to help me defeat... Wait, where are they? Were they left behind? The one time I decided to use them and they can't come with me? This may look like a paradise world, but don't get fooled. It's only like this on the surface. Literally. Because as you go deeper you realize that sure, people in this realm are immortal, I think, but what's the point of being immortal if you're going to get tortured constantly? Like, look at this contraption. A cage where they put people in and then lower them into the lava.
Not again!
What kind of a horrible being would come up with such a device?
Do you wanna go in?
I thought you'd never ask. So after a refreshing hot spring, I get to the entrance of the temple where the villain was hiding and was minding my own business collecting flowers when I realized there seemed to be some internal conflict going on here. What's happening, guys? Well, I guess his guards are dead. Let's go see the villain then.
I have waited a long time for you, champion of old Tamriel.
Wait, didn't you guys just die a few seconds ago? How are you back? I just looted your corpses. This place defies logic. Anyway, okay Manker, I know you want to give your villain speech, but I'm so ready for the final battle. I'm not sure I'm capable of defeating you based on how strong the enemies became with me leveling up, but... Wait, did you just die in 2 shots? I think a nymph is tougher than you right now. And that was it for Whoa, hold on, I thought I finished the game. What is Goro doing out here? Oh, I already called him that once. Wait a minute, let me do that one again. What is Forearms doing here? How did he even manage to escape? The situation here was quite intense, but I believed in the power of friendship me and Martin had. Together we'd defeat... Okay, so maybe I wasn't actually meant to fight him? Instead, I got lost for 15 minutes until I realized you don't have to escape the city. Instead, you have to go in the middle tower where... See, so I'm not sure what exactly happened here. I think Martin had to sacrifice his life for some reason and summon the dragon that has sworn to protect this realm from harm. This dragon then proceeded to have an epic battle whilst I just watched. Yeah, you go dragon, I'm rooting for you. You rock. No, that's not what I meant. And with that, the Third Age has ended. I like the fact that their history is marked by big events similar to real ages, but I have to say, I did not quite get what Martin said at the end. When the next Elder Scroll is written, you shall be its scribe. Why? Anyway, as good as the story was, I think I still need to learn a lot about this universe to actually make sense of what happened here, because I feel like the events had such massive implications if you knew the story a bit better. Regardless, with that, the question of can you beat Oblivion without Google is officially answered. Yeah, you can. It wasn't the easiest thing to do because sometimes the quests were not detailed enough, but with patience and, let's be real, a bit of luck, that was possible. Now this comes with a caveat, because that Thieves Guild side quest was unbeatable, and I'll be honest, I did not want it to end like this. So after finishing the story, I returned to that quest for a bit in hopes I can end this on a good note. But I spent so much time there still unable to find out how to progress. I also wanted to progress more through other side quests to see what the game has to offer because the amount of side quests and activities you can do, I feel like I barely scratched the surface. However, unfortunately, if I do that, this video would never get released. So for now, I had to let it go. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments what I missed there. If you guys have enjoyed this and you'd like me to explore more of the side quests, I'm happy to make another video about it, so do like and subscribe as it really helps. With that being said, that was all for this video. This was a fun challenge and I'm definitely looking forward to the next one. But for now, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye!